Get a lot of questions about what is paper tuning, what's a paper tuner, how can I get one, how do I do that stuff on my own. What I got here on the ground in front of me is nothing but good old PVC pipe and some butcher paper. I'm gonna show you how to build your own paper tuner. That way you can shoot your bow at home, decide kind of what your bow is looking like, what tear you're getting, and then kind of show you some ways to fix it later on in the video. But this whole setup with everything here costs just under 60 bucks. So pretty inexpensive paper tuner, so you can check your bow to make sure it's on before you go out on a big hunt or a shoot or whatever. So we're gonna get right into this thing, and I'm just gonna build it up for you guys, talk about kind of what all parts you need. What we're gonna do now is I got these shorter PVCs. They're all gonna be an inch thick, and this one's right at 17 inches. We'll take two of those. I'm gonna slap it through my little T-way here that's an inch thick. Cup it in there, and then you got your end caps so they don't slide around. So this is just basically for your paper tuner not being able to slide around. You don't want it moving when you're shooting it. Take another T, fix it up just like so. There we go. So this is gonna be my bracket. This is my two legs, so to speak. All this PVC is an inch in diameter, and we got 17-inch sections. Of course, you can make them however long or short you want. 17 is a good brace there. I'm gonna take these longer legs, again, that are an inch, and they're 27 inches long. So just for height purposes, I'm gonna stick them in our last section of our T here. So, just like so. You can kind of see how it's coming together. The next part, got my other T's here, but they're a 1/2 inch here and an inch here. This is gonna hold my short 1/2 inch rod that my butcher paper is actually gonna go on. So it'll all make sense in a minute. I'm just gonna get this built up for you. Just like so. Make sure it's nice and straight. I'm gonna put my butcher paper on there. You can use butcher paper, freezer paper, anything that is not too stiff where you can still get a good tear. Another thing, it's not that important, but you can get these rubber 1/2 inch little coupler type rings to slide down. And all that's gonna do is just hold your paper from sliding back and forth. Again, you can use a zip tie for that or something that'll just keep that paper in place. Got that side, and we've got that side. Next, we'll need the shorties. 12 inches long for the midsection here. And then you get your last set of T's, put it on the midsection. I'm gonna take one of my 17-inch crossbars, run it through, just like that. Then we take our big brackets here, run it through, just like so. And then you're gonna have your 90s. Really important here, don't accidentally step on your 90 and break it, but for the sake of this video, this will still work. Just like so. Now, all we're gonna do is run our paper, and then I'll normally tape this up on the top. So once that's taped up there, you got a paper tuner. You can shoot through paper here. When you're ready to roll it up, you can just take this top PVC and roll it on top of each other, and that'll keep pulling you some new paper there. Really easy to build, took less than, what, 2-3 minutes? Really easy, really inexpensive. This is just a good way to test your bullet hole. I'm gonna get some tape that down, and then I'm gonna show y'all some different tears. I'm gonna manipulate the bow a little bit, kind of get you some different tears and how to fix those at home, and we can go from there. So real important when so I got this top part taped down here. You can tell how this rotates. Like you can see, I can rotate paper on top of each other. So you don't want this PVC too tight. If so, kind of lube it up a little bit. But got our paper in there. There's a little bit of leeway in the paper, meaning a little bit of breathing room here. So all I'm gonna do right before I shoot is suck down this bottom part tight, just enough to where it holds that paper a little bit more firm. So I'm gonna grab my bow, shoot a few different holes through it, kind of show y'all some tears and what to look for. All right, so we just built our paper tuner. It's very important to have a target somewhat level height with you. Obviously, you don't want to be up here shooting down through this paper. I want to be a good distance away, maybe 5, 6 feet, to where that arrow has enough time to go through my bow completely and then enter the paper. I don't want to enter in the paper while it's still, halfway in my bow. That could affect the tear. So I'm going to put the target, the paper tuner, at least 4 feet away from the back wall here, just to give me enough room for that arrow to hit the target and get out of the way of the paper. And then, like I said, 5, 6 feet is kind of where I like to start. Make sure you run your stabilizers, because that could affect the tune as well. What I like to do, I like to start with a bare shaft first. This just kind of gives me the immediate indicator of what's going on. I can kind of see exactly what tear I'm getting. A bare shaft this close is what I like to start with, and then I can go to a vein later and just kind of look at my tear. I got my bow, got my bare shaft. The arrow weighs exactly the same. I'll put some tape on the back end so it matches up the vein weight. I'm going to shoot it through paper and just see exactly what this bow is getting and go from there. Also very important, get your normal anchors, get that bubble nice and centered, and then make just a good crisp shot. So look in here, that is a bullet hole. Now, if this bow was off, which I'll show you kind of a torque tear here, I can kind of show you how that's leaning. But right now, I got just a perfect little circle bullet hole with my bare shaft. So I know that's shooting pretty good. So now I'm gonna torque my bow, just to kind of show you what a different tear will look like with a bare shaft. So I got my bow torqued, my bubble's not level. So I torqued my bow hand this way, so that's torquing the bow to my right. And you can see the difference in the tear here. Not as crisp and clean. We got a little bit of a knock right tear there. Holes hitting here, going that way. So with that being said, if you have a knock right tear, meaning when that arrow's coming through paper, it is wanting to kick out this way. It could be shaft spine, could be torquing, could be grip, or we just need to shift that cam towards the direction of the knock. So if I'm having a knock right tear, meaning coming this way, I'm going to shift that cam to the right, towards that knock, to combat that. Same thing if you have a left tear. You want to shift that cam to the left. Even the slightest bit of torque, on that one I had more hand pressure. You can see we got that knock right still. Here's the point on this left side, knock on that right side, and we're slightly knock low. So that arrow's coming out, tip up, knock down slightly. And that's pretty self-explanatory how to fix knock high or low. Let me shoot one with a vein. I can kind of show you a little bit better. All right, so I showed you what I'm looking for with the bare shaft. That's what I always like to start out with, just to make sure there's not something just crazy wrong with the bow. I'm gonna show you what I'm looking for with a fletch shaft, hunting setup, ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna torque the bow a little bit, get a couple different tears just to show you kind of what to change or what to look for and what I'm looking for. And I'm gonna torque the bow pretty good. All right, so me torquing that bow presented just the ever so slightest. I mean, that's really close there. We might have just a fraction knock left here. Points entering more on this right side with the veins. So with that knock left tear happening, what I would do is either kick my rest to the right, or if you have a bow press, it's easier just to shift that cam left. Now I'm gonna torque it the opposite way and show you. So now I torqued it the opposite way. So now you can see the point here. It's kind of hard to see through this paper with this lighting. But the point here is now on the left side. So now I got to knock right. So we either move the rest too much. In this case, I torqued the bow. I didn't change anything. But if you see that after you just saw your knock left here, now you got to knock right. You move the rest too far over, or you shifted that cam too far over, or you've torqued it like I did. And those are some key ways to fix it. That's what you're kind of looking for through paper. Now I'm going to shoot one normal and see what I'm looking for. So I have a little bit of work to do on my bow there, but that's close to what I'm looking for. It's almost in the center. I can move some stuff around. So that, guys, was just a basic overview of how to build your own paper tuner at home, kind of some of the tears we look for and how to kind of quick fix them. If you have any tuning questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help. If you want your bow tuned, you can always ship it in to us. I will list the dimensions of all that PVC stuff that you need. Going to be around 60 bucks or so, give or take. But that's a good way to do yourself paper tuner and just to kind of double check your stuff and make sure it's on before you go on your big hunt. Thanks for watching.